What is an API, and how do backend systems consume them? Imagine a busy restaurant kitchen where chefs need ingredients from different suppliers. They send requests for what they need, and the suppliers deliver it. That's similar to what an application programming interface does in software. It's a set of rules and protocols that lets different software programs talk to each other smoothly. Think of it as a menu that tells you what dishes you can order and how to ask for them. APIs act as middlemen that define how requests for data or actions should be made and how responses are sent back. They keep things simple and secure by hiding the internal details of how a system works. This way, developers can focus on building features without worrying about the complex inner workings of other systems. When a backend system consumes an API, it acts like a client that sends requests to specific addresses called endpoints. These endpoints are URL that point to particular services or data. The backend uses standard methods like GET to fetch data, POST to create new data, PUT to update existing data, and DELETE to remove data. For example, if a backend wants to get the latest weather forecast from an external weather service, it sends a GET request to that service's API endpoint. The API then processes this request, interacts with its own server or database, and sends back the weather data in a format called JSON or XML. The backend then takes this data and uses it within its own application, maybe to show the weather on a website or app. Understanding how to consume external APIs involves a few key steps. First, developers read the API documentation carefully. This document explains what endpoints are available, what kind of data to send, and what to expect in return. It also details any authentication needed, like API keys or tokens, to keep access secure. Next, the backend makes HTTP requests to these endpoints. These requests include any necessary parameters or data, formatted correctly as specified in the documentation. Developers often use libraries or built-in functions in their programming language to handle this communication. Once the response arrives, the backend processes the data. It might parse the JSON or XML, extract the needed information, and then store it in a database or use it directly in the application. This step is important because it ensures the data fits into the backend's workflow and user experience. Security is also vital. Many APIs requiring authentication tokens or keys. The backend must handle these credentials carefully to prevent unauthorized access. It's also necessary to manage errors, like failed requests or rate limits, which prevent the system from crashing or exceeding usage limits. For example, a backend system might connect to a payment processing API to handle transactions. It sends the payment details, waits for confirmation, and then updates its records based on the response. This way, the backend doesn't need to build payment features from scratch but can rely on a trusted external service. In essence, APIs are like bridges that connect backend systems to external services or other parts of the application. They allow systems to share data and functionality in a standardized way. Backend developers consume these APIs by making requests, handling responses, and integrating external data into their applications. This approach makes backend development more straightforward and efficient, letting developers focus on server-side logic and data management while reusing existing services.